get in the start. I was wondering if you got to talk to any of your family members before the game about this being your first start in the WNBA.
Yeah, I talk to my family, but I also just try to stay to myself and go out there and do what I do. I've been watching Ariel for long enough, and I saw all the good things she did, and I just tried to go out there in the game and apply everything that she normally do.
Thank you. Kamilla, what's going to be the key for you and Angel replacing Elizabeth Williams' production in the front court?
Just trying to be the leader that he is, try to play as hard as she play, and yeah.
And then defending players like Tina Charles today, what's the challenge there? What does that kind of show you about ways that, even your own game needs to improve or things you can learn from going up against a player like that?
It just shows they are very experienced players. We are rookies. We came here and just learn from them, play hard like they do, and try to be as aggressive as they are.
Hey, Kamilla, I have one quick question for you. I was just curious, what's been kind of the way you've developed defensive chemistry with Angel? Can you just kind of assess how that's going to come about so far?
I feel like we both play really good defense. We just try to stay connected, whatever we need to do. If it's switch big to big or whatever the case may be, we're just going to stay connected and try to play our role.
Kamilla, you now have a few games under your belt. Talk about what it's like in transitioning, are you getting more familiar with the game conditioning wise and things of that sort?
I think I haven't had the best games, but I feel like I'm coming back. The game is coming, I'm just trusting the process, letting the game come to me and going with the flow.
Any more questions for Kamilla? Okay,
Thank you.
take questions for Angel now.
Angel, just these slow starts we've seen in the past 2 games, what do you think is contributing to that?
I mean, it just starts in warm-ups. It starts in practice. Even just at night, what you do at night, you can't come into the game and thinking that that's when game time is. Like, just knowing and having a mindset we need to change for sure. I think we're going to come back together and collectively change a couple of things internally. Like, it's not the coaches, it's us. And just being able to acknowledge that and take accountability, you'll definitely see change.
And then I just asked Kamilla this as well, but what do you think is going to be the key for you two specifically in the front court in terms of replacing her production?
Say that one more time. Like E's production?
E's production.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, yes.
Yeah, just trying to be as smart as I can. I mean, obviously E has done a great job teaching me her little tricks around the basket or even just playing defensively. She was telling me how to guard Tina tonight, a great player, and me being able to just like force her left and watching E telling me that, and I got to stop right there. Like, stuff like that gets me hyped up because I know I have a teammate that trusts and believes in me as a rookie. So just trying to pick up where she left off. Obviously, she did a great job for us. Not even just her scoring, her leadership is something that we can't replace. So just being able to come out there and do whatever we can to help that.
Angel, I was wondering if you could talk about E's importance on the bench. Obviously, there's so many player coaches in the building right now, from Ty Young to Teaspoon herself, but having E still here in the building to be able to be a mentor, to be a voice, and you talked about earlier about wanting to be a sponge from her. How important is that for you?
She's really important. Obviously, I think one day she'll be a coach for sure. She's done a great job being able to help the rookies specifically because me and Kamilla do play a lot of minutes. So being able to guard people is something that I've always emphasized on, and she's helped me know my personnel, making sure I know my personnel because she's been playing in the league for a little while now. So her leadership and her, like I said, it's just contagious. Her energy is contagious, and I'm glad she's able to still be over there and just being able to help coach and being able to have somebody to listen to.
Angel, these past couple home games, comebacks during the game, but you're unable to seal the deal at the ends of the games. Talk about those growing pains from a player's perspective and how are you guys handling that?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough because I hate losing. And I mean, I try to go out there every night and give as much as I can and trying to be as consistent as I can. And I think just being able to come together and have consistency 1 through 12, I think that's just going to be important from the jump ball to the end and as the last clock goes off. So I think we're just going to look back, obviously, and reflect within ourselves. Like I said earlier, it's not the coaches, it's not the other team, it's us. We've been in games, we've come back many times. So I think we internally have to look ourselves in the mirror and figure out what we need to change quickly.
You talked about Elizabeth kind of giving you some notes on going up against Tina. I'm curious what a player like Tina teaches you, like in the game as you're defending her, or even trying to score on a player like that.
Yeah, I've been watching Tina for a while now. I mean, I've always respected her game. I consider her as a legend, as a vet. Going out there tonight and watching her personnel last night, I was just watching all the things that she's done. So being able to go out there and play against a great player like that, where I've watched for a really long time, but knowing that it's still competition right in front of me and just being able to play her as best as I can. I think she told me, she's like, you're doing a great job out there. And she told me she respects me. And she was even after the game telling me to take my time when I'm finishing around the basket. And you gotta know, like, she shows love to me. She respects me, and just continue to build relationships with a lot of these vets because they do love me.
Hey, Angel, I think you might have answered my first question, which was I was going to ask, what were you speaking with Tina about?
She was playing she was talking to me all game, like asking me, did I know the play? And I said, yeah, I watched the play and I know my personnel on you and I'm going to be aggressive with you. And she was like, I was doing a great job about that. So she just pushed me. Obviously, she sees greatness in me, and being able to kind of pass that torch to me when her career is over. And I've always respected her and her game and what she's doing. So to be able to have a legend like that and a historic player like that to be a leader for me, not even on my same team, is something that's really important.
Now, you tied your season high in steals today with 5.
Oh, really?
I was curious. You said you spoke with E and she gave you some pointers.
Mm-hmm.
I was curious, was just the activity with the hands in the post with like catch contests and things like that?
Yeah, being up to touch is something that we emphasize a lot on. I think I've kind of done a better job on it, but still have room for improvement for sure. Defense is just kind of what gives me hype, gets me going. Defense and rebounds. I love getting steals, getting stops and leading more possessions and getting more possessions is something I've always emphasized on. So I think that's my role within this team. What I can bring every single day, I'm going to always play defense and I'm always going to rebound. If scoring doesn't get going, then I just know I'm going to bring those two things, and I'm going to bring toughness and just trying to be consistent in that as much as I can as a rookie.
Angel, you had a week playing real games with Kamilla. And what have you learned about her, playing with her, the tendencies and that kind of stuff?
She runs the floor really well. At 6'7", to be able to see a post player run the floor that well, I've known that since high school, obviously, but being able to actually be on her team and her hands are really well. I mean, she catches passes, she makes baskets around the basket really fluently, and I think her continuing to play and be consistent, I think it's going to allow her to just continue to be great. I mean, our duo is something that is going to be here for a while and here to stay, and I'm excited for our growth, and I'm just happy for us.
We'll go to Alyssa. One question on Zoom.
Hey, Angel. As a team, your guys' defensive rebounding has gotten a lot better. Do you feel like there was a mindset switch that happened, or like in some ways that you're contributing to that?
Yeah, I take pride in rebounding. Obviously, if we get a great stop and we don't get that rebound, that clears everything out. I'll always remember, like, getting 3 stops in a row is always important. And if they get that offensive rebound, that clears everything out and starts everything over. So I think the importance of rebounding, obviously, and giving us second chance points, or even just getting a stop and getting out in transition is something important. I think we've done a great job getting better at that, but still room for improvement.
Michael on Zoom, please unmute Michael.
Yeah, thank you. Angel, are there times out there it's almost a little funny because you look at the post starters today and they have combined, I think, 23 years of experience, and you and Kamilla basically have a handful of games. You talked about how Tina, has talked to you, but are there times you kind of look at that and say, I'm learning, every day from people who are, really have so much more experience, and how good that is in the long run for you and Kamilla?
Yeah, and that's kind of why I came to the league. Being able to come and face some of the greats, being able to play Tina Charles, being able to play Asia Wilson, being able to play a lot of these great vets to make me better every single day. Like, obviously, I wasn't getting that in college. And then being able to come here and being able to learn from them as I'm playing is something that I've always wanted and I've emphasized on. I think it gives me a little bit of room to see where I am and within my game, and going back and watching film where I got a steal on that person, or I was able to block that shot or get a good box out and try to outsmart them, because they are vets and they kind of know how to play, obviously, against some rookies that want to come in and beat on the rookies for sure and play as hard for sure. But I respect the vets so much. They've done a great job all the years that they've been within the league. So continue to get better every day. I appreciate them for respecting me and loving me as their own teammate. And I think just continue to help me grow is something that I've loved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job. Good job.
We just heard Angel talk about what she thinks is contributing to the slow starts, but just curious what you see as kind of the hurdle in those slow starts.
Got to figure it out. Can't have these slow starts and getting ourselves in a hole and have to dig out the hole the way that we've had to dig out the hole the last few games. Not just this one, last few games. This has happened, so we have to figure it all out, and we will figure it out.
And then in terms of just maybe improving the offensive production, do you see that as still being something like the team's learning each other, or is it an issue with, execution and set plays?
It's an issue. It's an issue with execution. We have to execute plays, and there's a lot that goes into what execution means, and we have to get better with that. And it's at this point you don't have much practice time, so we'll get better with watching film. And as much time we get on the floor, we will, and we'll get better with it. Execution is a must for us.
Coach, you got 21 turnovers, but 26 points. The other team scored off those turnovers. Talk about, if a lot of those turnovers were maybe forced or unforced, and how do you limit the other team from scoring?
No, we just threw the ball away. Just throwing the ball away. So to be smart, we talk about value in possessions, value the ball, get as many shots as we possibly can. And when you see 21 turnovers there, that's 26 points. That's the game. And we can value possessions and go get shots. Whether we make or we miss, at least we're getting shots up. Turn it over, you don't get any shots up, and they convert it.
We'll go Steven, Chris, Mike, and David.
Hey, Coach. You all have had a few games now with Angel and Kamilla spending time on the court together against a few different types of front courts. I was curious, what have you kind of gleaned from those two playing in tandem offensively as well as defensively?
We're learning. They're learning how to play together. Kamilla hasn't been in long. She's getting reps up, getting a feel for the game, getting a feel of opponents. And as you can tell, these are some very smart and savvy post players that they had to play against tonight. We'll just take it to the drawing board and then learn from it, learn how to play together, and learn what we have to do to play against players with this type of experience.
Man, it feels like whenever Lindsay comes into the game, she always has like a steady hand in terms of offense as well as on defense. Can you just kind of speak to what she provides to the lineup?
Lindsay is a floor general. She knows how to get everybody involved. She knows how to run your offense, knows as well as Dana knows that everything starts through them offensively and defensively. Initiate everything.
Teresa, when you hear Angel talk about the players needing to take an introspective look at and kind of fixing the slow starts, as a coach, what do you think when you hear that? And what are some of the things you can do to kind of help them take that introspective look?
Accountability, holding themselves accountable. That's it.
Coach, I was wondering, you talk about all season long that this is going to be about learning not only how to play together, but how to win together. What are things that aren't in a box score or aren't on Google that you're looking for from Angel and Kamilla that you want to see from them after every game?
Everything is on that book. Everything is in there that I look for. Everything. Energy and effort, being smart, being disciplined, being consistent, being committed. All those things I take a look at. We have to get there. We have to get there quickly.
Coach, coming out of the first half, you can see on the faces the team was just a little bit, I wouldn't say discouraged, but frustrated with the performance in the first half. Can you talk about the message going into the second half?
I can't say exactly what was said in there. So what we need to do, we had to get better offensively and definitely had to get better defensively. We wanted to make sure that we protected the ball, valued every possession, and we did some really good things. It's not like we didn't do some good things out there. But when you work so hard and you get a rebound, you got to value the possession, push it down and go get a shot up. You don't want to turn it over. And it played in their favor as much as we turned it over tonight.
And then we heard both of them talk about, what they think they need to do in order to make up for Ewell's absence. What do you expect from them in terms of making up for her production defensively and offensively?
It's going to take a whole team to bring what she brings, that type of leadership. And everyone trusts and believe in anything that she says and how she says it, but the work that she puts in and how she works, she's an example. She's an example of how it's supposed to be done, how you conduct yourself, even when you're up, how you conduct yourself, even when you're down, how you conduct yourself. She's just a true example. So you got to try to follow that best you can. But in order to kind of get ourselves back to where we were with her on the floor, it's going to take everybody.
And then forgive me, I didn't ask this pregame, but is it her right or her left knee?
I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
Might be her right.
Okay. And then in terms of her still influencing from, the sideline, what are you going to expect from Elizabeth in terms of just being that same veteran presence, but from the bench?
Yeah, she'll be with us. It's something that I definitely want her to be with us. She's our family, so we stick together no matter what. And on the bench, she's a veteran. She's going to lead. She's going to talk. She's going to direct. She's going to give them those things that need to be done. And she's honest and open with what she sees. And she's allowing them to hear her. They listen to what she's saying, and they try to take it out on the floor and get it done. I appreciate you all so much.
Thank you.